Welcome to SST June. Student, today we are going to start our history chapter 2, which is From Trade to Territory. The company established power. So students, you know what we are going to study in this chapter? Let's see. In this chapter we will study about the East India Company, how it has came in India and how it has established its power over the country. We will also study how the Britishers overtake the administration of our Indian government, and we will see how they applied the colonial system in our country. The story of the establishment of British Empire in India starts from the 18th century. That time India was marked by confusion and anarchy. There was no strong central authority. As you know, the Mughals and the Marathas had lost their power and prestige. The independent states were busy in fighting among themselves. Each one of them were trying to extend its territories. This political disunity in India was fully exploited by the Europeans, who came here in search of markets and raw materials. Now began to interfere in Indian politics, and the result, they established their supremacy in India. That time there were four trading companies in India, as the Portuguese, the Dutch, the French, and the Britishers. To know about how the Britishers grabbed the opportunity to establish their power in India, just have a short look upon these European trading companies in India. The Portuguese in India. Calicut was the first city where Portuguese landed. They established their trading centers at Calicut. By the 17th century, their power began to decline and the Portuguese could not longer retain their monopoly and were left with Goa, Daman, and Diu. The Dutch in India. The Dutch East India Company was established in 1602. They too established trading centers or factories along the coastal areas of India. However, the Dutch settlements were gradually taken over by the British and the Dutch established their trade with Indonesia. Next, the French in India. The French East India Company was formed in 1664. They established their trading center at Pondicherry in Madras. Next, the British in India. The East India Company of England was a group of 9 private companies ruled by a board of directors. It was chartered by Queen Elizabeth I on December 31st, 1600, for developing trade and commerce with Asia for a period of 15 years. In 1612, the company established its first factory in India at Surat. Soon, they took control of Madras, Bombay, and Calcutta. In 1652, the British had 23 factories in India. Soon after their establishment, most of these factories were converted into forts by them. And after that, they have started their establishment as a ruling power. In 1691, a farman was granted by Aurangzeb, which exempted the East India Company for paying custom duties in Bengal. The Mughal Emperor Farrukhsir granted a farman extending the privileges to the British in Gujarat and Deccan. Gradually, the company came to rule large area of India, exercising military power and assuming administrative functions, and it changed from a commercial trading association to a political power. The company tried continuously to press for more concession and manipulate existing privileges. Aurangzeb's farman, for instance, had granted only the company the right to trade duty free. But officials of the company who were carrying on private trade on the side were expected to pay duty. This they refused to pay, causing an enormous loss of revenue for Bengal. How could the Nawab of Bengal, Murshid Quli Khan, not protest? So, as a result, the battles were there. So, how trade led to battle? Let's see. Through the early 18th century, the conflict between the company and the Nawabs of Bengal intensified. After the death of Aurangzeb, the Bengal Nawab asserted their power and autonomy, as other regional powers were doing at that time. Since 1740, the ruler of Bengal, Alivardi Khan, had been the virtually self-appointed Nawab. He always followed a policy of keeping the European merchants under control. He died in 1756 and was succeeded by his grandson Sirajud-Dowla. The new Nawab was distrustful of the British from the very beginning. Soon, he and the British came into conflict with each other and fought the famous Battle of Plassey, which made the British the master of Bengal. So, what was the Battle of Plassey? We will see. Battle of Plassey, 1757. The Battle of Plassey was the most decisive battle that marked the beginning of British rule in India. The British now decided to get rid of the Nawab of Bengal. Clive bribed Mir Jafar, the Nawab's uncle, and promised to make him Nawab if he sided the British. The battle between the English and Nawab Siraj-ud-Dowla took place at Plassey on 23rd June 1757. Siraj-ud-Dowla was ignorant of Mir Jafar's conspiracy. The British aerially attacked the Nawab's army, which offered no resistance. The battle was easily won by the British. Nawab Siraj-ud-Dowla was caught and put to death. Mir Jafar was made the Nawab. The British hence got the right of free trade in Bengal, Bihar and Odisha. They even got the territory of 24 Parganas. The company got more than 30 million from the Nawab. However, Mir Jafar could not live up to the expectation of the EEIC and started protesting. He was then replaced by his son-in-law Mir Qasim. These Nawabs were puppet ruler as the actual power was in the hand of the company. Mir Qasim refused to remain a puppet ruler. He had trained his army on the European model. He abolished custom duty and improved the administration. The company did not like his attitude, so he was replaced by Mir Jafar again. In 1765, Robert Clive became the governor of Bengal. He established the dual system of government in Bengal. By this system, British got both the Diwani rights and the Nijamat rights. The Diwani rights were given by the Mughal emperor, while the Nijamat rights by the Nawab. In other words, British had the actual power of controlling revenue while the administrative responsibility lay with the Nawab. So, the British had all power but no responsibility, and the Nawab had all the responsibility but no power. The system had many weaknesses and there was much confusion. The peasants of Bengal suffered greatly due to the decline of agriculture and revenue demands. Trade and commerce were disrupted and industries and skill ruined. After gaining the power, the company officials became nabobs. Nabob was the English version of Hindi Nawab. After gaining the power, the company started to expanding their rules. So how they expand their rules and what happened after that, we will see in our next video. So for this, keep watching SST Zone.